Can I ask you, what's been the best thing off the court or on the court about being a Grand Slam champion? What event happened to you? And just sort of related to that, how long and how difficult has it been to get your head back in and think about winning number two?
I think people always think that once you win a Grand Slam, your life changes in a way, but I kind of figured out it really doesn't. For me, I enjoy certain things outside the court, and I will keep enjoying them, whether it's going to go play golf with my friends, whether it's, going to a kids club with my daughter. It's those things don't really change that much. And for me, of course, there is some sort of satisfaction inside of me, and there is, of course, something that I was fighting for my entire career. But outside of that, life doesn't really change that much. You continue living your life, and as you can see, 2 weeks later, we're at Wimbledon, and we're already preparing for the next Grand Slam.
Charlie?
Sasha, on Tuesday, my joint plays Serena, and it's obviously going to be a huge occasion. I just wondered, for you, what it was like when you were younger, when you're suddenly playing against the big three and these people that you looked up to. What it's like then suddenly being up against them, and how you managed that.
Well, the very first time I played one of them was against Roger in Rome, and I was extremely nervous and I couldn't handle my emotions. I didn't play a very good match, but then you get used to it, right? I think the more often you do it, the more used to it you get. No, the first time it wasn't Roger, it was Rafa in the Wells, I think, right? I'm not sure anymore, but it was, so that period of time. And then first time you're nervous, second time you're a bit mad, or third and fourth time you see them as opponents. And then especially when you're young and when you're starting to get better and when you're climbing up the rankings, you just try to figure out ways to beat them. Of course, those are players that you've always watched and you had admired since a very young age, but you got to put that behind you and you got to try to focus on what you can do on tennis court to win. Because at the end of the day, that's what you're here for.
I was thinking, obviously it was much further on in your career, but a comparable situation to Tuesday could have been you against Rafa 2024, just such a huge, mega occasion. How did you find all the kind of hoopla around that?
I think it is a bit different because Serena took a longer time off. I think she took almost 4 years off, right? Whereas Rafa took a couple of months off and was still at a very high level of his game, but he wasn't seeded. And I was, I think, number 2 or 3 seed at Roland Garros. I'm not sure anymore, but I was somewhere there still. And both of us had a mindset of, okay, we're trying to win the match, and then we're going to try to win the tournament. And for me, I didn't want to play Rafa in the first round. I think nobody wants to play Rafa in the first round, no question about that. But I wanted to play Rafa one more time at Roland Garros because of what happened in 2022, just to put that behind me and have a new memory against Rafa, whether I win or lose. And of course, after the match, I was very happy that we played.
Okay,
Just ask about your glucose sensor the last time. Did you get to the bottom of that, and what and have you made any changes for this event?
The company is investigating it and looking into it, but no, it was honestly though. It may sound worse for the sensor and for the company that it is, because I've been using it for 10 plus years, probably more than 10 years. I think 11 years. This is the first time ever it happened. But for me, of course, unfortunately, it happened during a tennis match where I physically get tired already. And then, of course, the exhaustion level was too much for me. But again, it happened once in over 10 years. So those things are still very, very useful for a diabetic, and to make a life of a diabetic much easier than without them. So, it was very unfortunate for me that it happened. But I think as a product, I think it still is very helpful for millions of diabetes patients.
Okay, we're going to have to switch to German.
No, you can go ahead. English, it's fine.
Just very, very quick. When they say in London you wait for a bus for hours and then 2 come along at the same time, is it, now you've won the French, did you see this as a big opportunity to sort of kind of cement that again by having a really deep run here?
Look, I don't know. I hope this saying will be true for me. But again, Wimbledon has always been the Grand Slam that I struggle the most at. But I personally do feel different this year. I do feel like I have a good preparation. I do feel like I play good tennis at the moment. And I'm going to do everything I can to show that on a tennis court and to show that on a match court. And then after that, that's all that I have in my control, and everything else will follow.